Welcome to Community with Closers. I'm your host, Pat Clark, and this is where closers are born. Get ready for high energy stories, game-changing strategies, and the relentless pursuit of success. In each episode, we dissect the art of sealing the deal, celebrate triumphs, and explore the grit that defines salesmanship. This is the ultimate podcast for sales warriors ready to conquer the business battlefield. What's going on, Community with Closers? Pat Clark here. We have an amazing show for you tonight. Hey, appreciate you guys stopping in, checking it out. It's 45 minutes, real quick. You can listen on the way to a job. You can be hanging out with the family, and you can listen in. So appreciate you guys being here. And with no further ado, I want to introduce you guys to Corey Edmonds. You guys all know Corey Edmonds in the house. What is up, brother?
What is going on, Pat? Good to be with you, man. I'm pumped, man. I'm always glad and happy to be around you, Pat. How you doing?
Dude, I try to bring the energy. But with both of us in the same room, I don't know what the viewers are going to do.
we may not get anything done. Thanks for having me, though. Thanks for having me. I super appreciate it.
You're very welcome, man. Well, I want to jump right into it. I know you got some amazing things going on. And so kind of like start us off, man, where it all began and what's going on now.
Yeah, totally. So my name's Corey. I'm originally from South Carolina, Atlanta. I got into the pressure washing industry in 2013, actually. I bought a little pressure washing company that washed car dealership lots, $1.50 a car, 1,000 cars every Thursday and Friday. I paid $1,500 for the pressure washing business, took over the accounts, and grew it from there. I moved on to like semi trucks, moved on to heavy equipment, whatever. Ended up, I don't know. I was like 21 years old. We did like $600,000, $700,000. I had no idea what I was doing. And I had 12 employees. It was a friggin' nightmare. We lost money that year. I went to Italy for 2 months in the business, or 2 weeks, and the business basically burned down. It was insane. It was insane, Pat. I was like, I quit. But I literally fired all my employees. I had 2 guys left that were just like really good. They've been with me for years. I kept them around, and we just kind of like worked together on like heavy equipment and stuff like that. I got really profitable, stuffed some money in the bank, but I felt like a failure. And I was like, I got to get this figured out. I know I could grow a business. I know I can scale it. I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And I just had this massive idea of like building a multi-million-dollar company that ran without me, right? And so it was kind of like right around that time, Brandon Vaughn was putting out those the Systems Saturdays or Systems Fridays, whatever videos they were. Sorry, Brandon. Systems Saturdays, I think. He's putting out those videos, and I was just like really latching on to the content. And at the same time, we visited Nicole, my wife. Her sister lives in Washington, and we visited a couple of times, and we're like, oh my God, it's beautiful out here. Why don't we just like up and sell our house, sell the business, sell everything? I still sold cars at that time too. Mm-hmm. So I had like 5 trucks in my driveway, sold everything. And we moved to Washington, and I was like, I'm going to build a company from ground zero as fast as I possibly can. I'm gonna get the hell out of Washington. And I only wanted to spend 3 to 4 years there. And I was like, I want to hit $5 million. And so yeah, that's what I did. And about 6 months in, I think I had like $1 or $2 in my bank account. Nicole will tell you that like my card was declined at like Taco Bell on date night. Like I nothing's been handed to me. I was raised well, right? I wasn't like, I was raised in a good household. I was raised in a good family. But my father, my mother, they didn't give me any money or anything. It was all up to me. And so none of this was handed to me. It was just a straight battle all the way through. But
I remember conversations, man. Like you were growing, you were like on the systems, man. You were building all the systems out behind the scene, like hours. You had the sheets, the calculating sheets. It was like watching from the outside was amazing because you were all in.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it takes. That's what it takes. I mean, I'm no strain. Like I'll work. I like to call it half days. I work half days every day. Like everybody's probably like, oh, this guy works half days. That's 12 hours. 12 hours a day, baby. Okay. Sometimes I'll put in the 3/4 days. That's like, 16, 18 hours, whatever it is, whatever it takes, 7 days a week. I was always willing to do it. But yeah, so I got out into Washington. I didn't know marketing. I didn't have a website or whatever. I hit the ground running. All I ever known in business is hard work and hustle and going to meet people and shaking hands. That's always what I was good at, networking. And I carried a freaking clipboard with a freaking spreadsheet, like literally. And my goal was to meet 40 businesses a day, 40 companies, right? Local businesses. And I would write them down on a spreadsheet. I would, write down the secretary's name. That way, when I went back in there, I knew her name and acted like I knew her. Whenever I called the owner, like, hey, I talked to Sarah up at the front desk. And then they're instantly like, oh, you know Sarah? I'm like, yeah, I know Sarah. Like, hell no, I don't know Sarah. But we do today if we're going to get a check, So I did that for 9 months straight. I stirred up $180,000 the first year doing that solely. That's all I did. I met 40 people a day for like 9 months straight, as many days as that I could. I did the work. I did the accounting. I did the marketing. I did all of it, right? Did the job. 180.
So let me ask you real quick, because like that's a lot. That's a mental shift, right? So there's people on here, right? They're like, what do I need to do? Like sometimes what is their job? And you're like pure grit. I got to talk to 40 businesses. I got to go knock on the door, right? Introduce them, learn their names. Like you need to track some stuff because when you go back, you're going to have arsenal to go back with to get further in the door.
You got to get information for sure. 100%. Anyhow, that's what I did. Year 2, we did a lot of street signs. I, dabbled around with Google ads. I had a couple of companies that burned me. And then I finally found a company that knew what they were doing. They got me traction. I got Google reviews as fast as I could. So the only person in my area, they had like 48 reviews. So I got 100 reviews the first year, like every single job, getting the reviews. And then year 2, we did like street signs, Google ads, and I think we did 267. That was when I was like, I really need help. And so I was gonna Conquer. It just came out, and there was like a questionnaire that said like, "What is your revenue?" And I lied because like I actually tried to join that Canadian group, Breakthrough Academy.
Yeah,
I tried to join them first, and they declined me. And I'm like, shit. Like, hopefully we can cuss on here. But anyway, they declined me, and I'm like, Conquer's not fixing to decline me. I'm fixing to lie on this. And it was like, how much did you do? Whatever.
You gotta fake it till you make it.
300, 500,000, whatever. So I got in, and I'm like, I don't even know where I'm going to get this. It was $700 a month at the time. I'm like, I don't even know where I'm going to get it, but I'm just going to work harder. Every time I ever took on a bill like that, it made me work harder. And then it just became normal.
You're giving a lot of people anxiety, Corey. They're like, "What? You don't have $700 a month, and you just signed up for $700 a month?"
I know. I'm a super anxious person. I get anxiety like that really, really bad. I get anxiety really bad, truthfully. So like I've always done that Navy SEAL box breathing exercise to lower my anxiety real quick. But I've always done that, and a minute or two, it's gone. Anyway, lied, got into Conquer. and then that was going into year 3. So I started conquering like January or February of 2020, of course. And I'm like, okay, this year we're gonna dabble with direct marketing 2020. Like it's coming into March 2020. I don't know if anybody remembers March of 2020. So I decided to pull the bullet. I don't have $9,000 cash, right? So I dropped 9,000 on a direct mailing campaign. It was like hitting like I don't even know. It was like 30,000 houses. Guess what freaking day it hits? The day they shut America down because of COVID.
Man.
I'm like, dude, are you serious right now? Like, I was fucked.
Yeah.
And anyway, yeah. So either way,
Dang.
I know Cole McLaughlin is on here. Cole was like, I met Cole in 2020, and you know, I can talk and I have fun and shoot the shit and I can sell, but what I realized was once I hired Cole was that I was shitty at sales actually, and Cole took over sales in 2020, and he helped take our company from 267,000 that year. We went to $700,000 that year. He doubled my average ticket and he doubled my closing rate. And one lesson that I learned is you as a small business owner, you can get stuck in your business multiple ways. And a really, really big way you can get stuck is if you don't recognize that you suck at sales. So if you suck at sales and you brought in somebody that actually is really, really good, they could double your average ticket and they could double your closing rate, which would do wonders for your company. It's not like we had a shit ton more leads coming in. It was just the fact that Cole was doubling what he sold.
He's replicating the efforts. Yeah.
Yep. And so it went from there. So we basically said, holy shit, Cole, like let's get this all on video. Let's get this all on tape. Let's do whatever we can. I was in Conquer for like the first 90 days. And the first thing that I did to help scale my business, was like the most important thing that I think I did was film all the training, all the technician training. Number one, you want to get out of the truck, get the shit on film, you know, create tests. You got to film tech training. You got to film your company basics. You got to teach these guys that, hey, you know, here's how to read a profit and loss. You know, here's company basics, here's safety, here's the tech training. Okay. You want to get off the truck, save yourself a ton of time. You got to film that training.
Say it one time. Stop repeating yourself.
One time. It takes the same amount of time to film it as it does to just continue to repeat yourself and just get your stuck. And when people talk about like I can't retain employees and stuff like this, step one is video training. If they don't feel confident in what they're doing, they're not going to stick around long. Nobody wants to stick around at a job that they don't feel like they're doing a good job at, right? So you got to define that in the training. Okay, so that was one thing I did. Year 2, we went to or year 3, we went to 700. Year 4, we went to basically like 1.5, and then basically like year 5, I can't even remember my years. I did the concrete coating company. I started that, and basically we tapped on the door $3 million. So again, a salesperson can help you and they can also hurt you. We hired a sales guy that couldn't close himself out of a wet paper bag. I mean, it was terrible. We gave him 200 primetime spring estimates. Cole, meantime, was closing 40% of them at a $4,500 ticket price. This guy got 200 estimates, closed 7. So when I did the reverse math of how much money it cost me like $80,000 in marketing spend, and he cost me like $300,000 in lost sales. So we would have had a crazy year 2022, but we fell a little bit short. But it just is what it is. It just is what it is.
Shameless plug, man. So this is why you got to go to Sales Boost, because like that's the reality. You can hire somebody and they know it better than you, but you have to have a proven system. You have to be like, you have to have that confidence that these are your marching orders. Like this is your daily things. And you don't know, but you got to let them go. Like we all learned the hard way. I hired somebody, same thing, dude. They came in and all they would do is come in, grab the flyers, go out, and they weren't selling. They would blame it on the flyer. They would blame it on the economy. They blame it. But then I'm like, dude, but what about James? James is closing at a 72% closing ratio. Average tickets, high. What do you mean? And so you have to have the training, and it's crazy because you go through those steps, and we've all done it. Like we have to change us, and we have to level us up. And then Cole comes in and absolutely crushes it and helps you to be a better leader. And now you have the numbers to track and do it again.
Yep. And another thing, like I couldn't have done it without Cole. Like he was with me since 2020. He now owns the company. So I was like, he always asked me, like, he knew I wanted to move back. He's like, hey, I want to own my own business, sell it to me when you're ready to leave. And so I just I get so much happiness from that, right? Being able to give it to Cole and bless him with that. And hey, here you go. I grew up really, really fast too. So it's kind of like a little bit of a trail of tears that I left behind that Cole's kind of navigating as well. He's done an amazing job. I know I'm like doting on Cole right now, but he's done like a stellar job. I think they got he put like 200 more reviews up. He's he's brought this whole new life to where it just it sucked the life out of me. But I was able to pass him something that was like nicely packaged, right? And it had sucked the life out of me. And he was able to breathe new life into it. So he's actually taking it further than I was able to take it. Just because I was just running and gunning for 5 years straight,
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, starting it from nothing, like it does. Like you gotta maintain, because people do get burned out, right? You grow it, and there's a lot. When you got to the 1.5, there's a lot that happens at 1.5 million, and then you gotta get to the 2 and the 3 to make it smooth again,
I know. And it's every step you go up, you have to drop your profits. Like every step you drop your profits 2 steps.
Because you're hiring.
You want to go up a step? Okay, drop back your profit 2 steps, right? Then you can go to the next step. I mean, it's just it's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down until you get where you want.
Yes. Yep.
So yeah, that's kind of my story. I knew nobody out there. I knew nobody. All I knew was hustle, hard work. I was in the networking groups every Thursday morning. I loved it. I love the networking groups, like Washington. The West Coast, right? They got their ideas, values, morals, and here comes this Southern kid, right, into this networking group with 50 and 60 and 70-year-olds. Oh my God, I swear some of them had peed their pants, in those meetings. It was just so funny. I was terrible.
Oh my goodness.
I got a lot of business out of it. People appreciated it. And I was like, look, I don't care what you think or what you view. I still love you.
I love it, man. I love it. And so that's a whole different mindset of you didn't just start up a business in your town. You're like, no, let's go to
3,300 miles. So if you can think of the last road in North America to the very, very northwest corner of the United States, that's the road I lived on. I could literally, we were 1 block away from the Canadian border, essentially.
Wow. That's awesome.
And we were literally on the last road in northwestern America, all the way from, Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
So, the only person I knew there was literally Nicole's sister, my wife's sister. And so, yeah, woo. And it wasn't like they knew anybody. They'd only lived there, a year or 2. So, I mean, it's the hardest thing I ever did, Pat. Do I want to do it again? Hell no. Yeah. I don't ever want to do it again.
I know it, but
I'm so glad I did it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. What came out of that, right? You learned a whole new thing. You leveled yourself up.
Right, exactly. I learned everything, every step that I need to do to scale any business, wherever, whenever I can do it. I left with that knowledge. And nobody can take that from me.
Yeah. So that brings me to my next question right here is, if you could have a conversation with your younger self, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh man, what advice would I give to my younger self? Good advice or bad advice? I got away with a lot of stuff, so I mean, I would be twice as bad, if I'm just kidding. No, I'm not kidding, but younger advice, man. I
Yeah.
went through a lot of like lonely by myself times. I
Mm.
went through a lot of struggles, and I'm just gonna be completely transparent. I smoked a ton of weed back in the day. Like I was literally by myself. Like I smoked a ton of weed. Just by myself. And it was lonely. It was hard. It was really weird. And I teetered on the edge of going down the correct path or the wrong path.
Mm. Yep.
And if I could go back and just be like, just urge myself, like it's going to be fine. You're going to pick the right path. Right and wrong. Like I knew what I was doing was wrong, but I still did it anyway. If I could just give myself advice to just say, you know, it's going to be fine. You just keep chugging. Like I guess that's what I would do. Really,
Yeah.
it was not easy. It was not easy for me.
Yeah. Kind of that unknown, right? Is like, I'll just do what I'm doing now and then see what happens.
Yeah,
No, that's
yeah.
awesome. Okay. So with that, when you go there, so, for guys that are on here with sales and marketing, what were some of the things that you would, kind of tell yourself when you started in, Washington or wherever, like when you're getting a business going, like I know you do boots on the ground and I know you're knocking on doors, right? And we do that. And I feel like we lose track of that because we
Me
go
too.
to what's easy. And the easy
Easier
stuff
to
is
pay
let's
for.
pay this and then let's not do that because that's hard.
Right.
So let's talk about that a little bit because I think a lot of people this year are going to have to really get out of their comfort zones.
Yeah. The digital marketing space has
Mm.
changed tremendously with the economy. So it used to be spend more money, get more leads. Now it's spend more money, lose more money. So you really have to be cautious about what you're doing. I wish I had never got off the boots on the ground. Like kind of as I was backing out and passing it off to Cole, and we
Hmm.
were really working on that boots on the ground approach again. And I was like, look, we got to get back to what made us successful and got us here. And so far, I mean, Cole's been crushing it, and they have a sales guy there too, and it's again chamber of commerce meetings. It's doing free Christmas lights at these places.
Hmm.
And now that I'm out of the business too, I have more of a clear mind, and so me and Cole talk a lot, and we talk this and that. But like one idea that we came up with was like our property managers, like we want their business every single year, so it's like we got to take care of these guys. They don't cost us any more money in marketing spend, so we can spend money on them.
Hmm.
And so we'll go do free trainings, we'll keep their house clean, we'll put up free Christmas lights every single year. So it's like maintaining those relationships. And like I'm thinking of one guy in general, he gives us like 120 plus thousand every March, right? And each year we've done that, he's given us another job and another job. And now it's 150, it's 170 every single year. Oh, here's my friend, here's my other friend. And they're all property managers. It's just that type of stuff. You can't let off of that. You cannot let off of that. And I always went after people that could refer us more business. And like I know this is something we learned in Concord, but I always knew it before I was even in
Yeah.
Concord. Like
You just
I,
executed when you, yeah.
I want to I want to meet people that can give me 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 jobs a year, whatever it is. And so I went out and found those people. I thinking about it now, Pat, like when I first got out into Washington, um, I found a guy that was a property manager for a restaurant company. And this restaurant company made so much money. They would buy restaurants, implement their systems, turn it around, make it profitable. They made so much money, they were buying up real estate. And I was going to clean up all their houses, and then they were selling them. Like the March 2020 came along, prices skyrocketed. They started selling them. They're like, hey, clean these up. We're buying more, clean those
Mhm.
up. I mean, it's just crazy. And
Yeah.
all of that, none of that stuff came from online advertising.
Yeah.
Um, eh, you know, you got to be careful. I hope I'm helping you guys out here. But like, the digital marketing space has changed drastically.
Yeah, no, it has. And you got to track. You do, like before we were like, well, I'm doing it. I feel it. I feel like it's doing good. You got to track it because there's a lot of money in this stuff. And if you don't put your money where it counts, like you could be upside down really quick.
You can, yeah, especially as you're growing a company, it actually becomes dangerous because you a couple wrong moves and you're upside down. You got a ton of debt. You've displaced a ton of employees. It gets dangerous. Like I laugh when I see all these people. They're like, why are these CEOs getting paid so much money? Because one wrong move and they displace 25,000 employees. Like they could bankrupt the company. Everybody, all of us operate on razor thin margins. A couple of small mistakes and you're not profitable. That leads me to being lean. As I was growing, I spent a lot of extra money on marketing. I did the concrete thing. I didn't really like it. I got rid of it. That was a big waste of freaking money. Here we are, like it was 2020 and we basically, or no, it was 2022. I get my years mixed up. 2022. We basically needed to do 100. Our break even was $110,000 a month. And we didn't make a profit until we did more than basically $110,000 plus. And so now we were hitting some serious months, but 2023 came along and the phones didn't ring until March. And I literally burned up $200,000 in cash. Like I worked my ass off to save that $200,000. Like I'm just being brutally honest here. Like that was the most money I'd ever saved in my entire life. Like that's years and years and years of saving. I burned up $200,000 in cash paying my office manager, my crew manager, my sales guys, all these people to stay on through the winter months. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, I am not putting any more fucking money into this thing. And I was already halfway out anyway in my mind. Like, I'm like, my mind is in South Carolina. I want to get back south. I don't want to spend another year in Washington. And that's what I mean. I kind of left Cole with, I left him with a little bit of a trail of tears. And Cole has absolutely crushed it and is literally turning it around. Yeah, dude, holy shit. I don't even know what I was talking about.
But no, that's hilarious. That's the reality of it though. You know what I mean? Like you got it. We're talking about marketing. We're talking about, tracking your numbers because you can be upside down really quick. And especially in this time, you got to do it. And so, with that being said, you rolled into now Service Robot.
My Service Robot.
Yeah, My Service Robot. So let's talk about that a little bit. So I know the washing and everything, hand off Cole's crushing it, right? So what's Corey working on nowadays?
Yeah, so just being completely transparent, there's a sick software out there. It's called High Level, right? High Level is the most powerful software on the planet. And it's 100% programmable. And the thing is most people don't have months and months and months of time to learn all this techie stuff, webhooks, endpoints, APIs, reading documentation. Okay, that's what it takes. Learning email, domain registration, setups, email deliverability. There's a whole shit load of technical stuff that goes into this thing. And so I have used High Level in my my pressure washing company and my concrete coating company for years. And we used it to send automated sales follow-ups. I briefly used it for sales follow-ups. And I realized that what I could actually do was send automated reminders to my employees. And I wouldn't have to fucking waste my breath over and over and over. And so I started diving into this stuff where I was like, holy shit, I can automate hiring. I can automate checklists, reminders, inventory. I don't even have to talk to my employees. Like I automate sales follow-ups to Cole, like, hey, follow up with this guy. We're like putting the freaking sales objections inside of the reminders to him. And guess what? The sales guys start closing more fucking jobs. Like I just went off the deep end with it. And just, and so it became like, again, I get my years mixed up. It's 2023, 2022, into 2022. Like 5 or 6 people hit me up and they're like, please build this out for me. And I was like, holy shit. Like I just built it out. And like, that's like, I just did pretty good for the month of December, which is notoriously dead. And then I had more people ask me and then more people ask me. And I'm like, holy shit, this is getting crazy. So I was like, now we got to like really refine everything that I'm doing here, package it up nicely. I got to come up with a business name. I'm like you, Pat. Like I don't mean this in a wrong way, but like we can do a lot with a little bit of stuff.
Yeah.
And so like I'm like, I can't even think of a business name. So we like I'm like, but I need a freaking bank account. And so I can't get a bank account. So I have a freaking business name and an FEIN number and all this other and a state registration. I'm like, let me get Hello Marketing. And I'm like, I hate this name, but I just need this stupid bank account. Like, I just need it. Right. And so I got that. And then I'm like, you know what? The name will come to me. It'll come to me. And a few months later, I came up with My Service Robot. Had a guy create a logo and it's taken off from there. And so essentially what we're doing is we're automating some of the basics. So we bolt high level onto your scheduling app. And so each person uses their scheduling app a little bit different. We use House Call Pro, but House Call Pro, ResponsiBid, Jobber, Customer Factor, Markate. These are the CRMs, or excuse me, I call them scheduling apps because they're not CRMs. High Level is a CRM. Okay. These are field service management apps. So I bolted on so it works automatically for you, sends your sales follow-ups. And then we have some awesome training videos in there. I gotta get more videos in there. We got training. I personally help support you guys. I also have 2 account managers that also help with support. We get it all set up for you, support you, teach you, give you the help videos to kind of basically get you through the techie BS setup that most people never get through. And then we basically open up Pandora's box and show you how to automate hiring, how to automate your employees, how to automate literally your sales follow-ups, how to make your sales guys better, all this stuff. Like there's so much that you can automate and save so much time. You can put your training videos in there. Like you can build your own company training program within there. I mean, it's got a phone system, it's got your training software, it's got your text and emails, it's got your automated follow-ups. It's a one-stop shop. And actually, to just being honest, it saved us money because we didn't need NiceJob, we didn't need CallRail, we didn't need MailChimp, we didn't need TextMagic. We were able to get rid of all these different softwares and just convert to this one, right? And so we were saving money. But anywho, that's My Service Robot for you. We are like, rapidly growing too, and this thing is scaling as well. So I have like, I just love business, and like I have all of my stuff. I'm super anal OCD. Like everything's got to be like perfect, right? Perfectionism kind of gets in my way a little bit too. But yeah, like all my systems, all of my setups, like I have these, I have to set up Zapier, right? I have to bolt it on. So like I have my templates for each field service management app. I have a snapshot inside a High Level for each one. We're able to bolt them up. I just have a quick conversation, understand how you use it, right? And then it's customized setup for you. Some guys like schedule jobs to go do estimates, right? Some people go schedule estimates to go do estimates and then copy them to jobs. So each person uses their programs a little bit different. And so like a one size all bolt up, there's a couple other guys out there that are reselling this, High Level too. So and it's just not working, right? We have a lot of those customers coming because we tailor that setup. So anyway, it's all in the details, baby. It's all in the details.
All in the details. But no, you make a good point of like, you can get in the weeds of business and you can try to do it's the shiny object syndrome. And you like, I need this, I need this, I need this, right? And you're bolting all these things on. In reality, then you need to hire 3 people in your office just to be IT for all the stuff that you have.
Yeah.
Forget about that. Focus on what you need to focus on in the beginning, like you're saying. depending
Mhm.
on where you are in your business, find out what is important. Don't get distracted. It might be boots on the ground. It might be tracking your leads. It
It is.
might be focusing on one thing.
Yeah. And so as far as like My Service Robot goes, is if you're a one-man show out there, I wouldn't worry about this right now. You really want the ideal customer for My Service Robot has a person in the office, whether it's a virtual assistant in the Philippines or um it's like somebody sitting monitoring this thing's sending automated text and emails, so people are responding, right? So you got to respond back. You can't be in the field working. It doesn't work great for the guys that are in the field unless you have good time management, whatever. But we do like a rainmaker campaign. I'm getting off topic here. I'll be done with this here in just a second. We do like a rainmaker campaign for March, right? So
Mm.
we message all of our client lists. We have like 6,000, 8,000 customers, something like that. So we get thousands and thousands of dollars worth of jobs. We have automated reminders. We're able to, our repeat referral rate is like 50%. So 50% of our customers return the next year. And so that's another way I was able to pile another $1 million on our revenue, because we're doing the same customers every single year,
Yeah.
as well as doing new customers from the new marketing. And it's not sexy. It was never sexy to me to retarget my customers. I'm like, oh, I'm not that desperate, blah, 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 blah. But there's some real fucking magic right there. I'm telling you, real
Yeah.
magic. And it don't matter where that customer came from, if they was existing or they wasn't, that money still spends. You know what I mean? So
That's right.
but anywho, I'm off topic there. We were talking about shiny object syndrome. I am notorious for shiny object syndrome. I always consider myself like a squirrel on a tree branch in a forest, right? I see another branch and another branch, and I'm gonna jump over there and there and there and there and there and there, and I'm like all over the damn place.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I broke down, like I have a breakdown of my journey and like
Mhm.
how I did it. I haven't like released it publicly yet, but everything that you need to be focusing on and kind of like that revenue level. I know this has been done before, but this was specific to my experience. And if you're a new to the industry, right, you really got to develop those relationships. You got to do the boots on the ground stuff. Pat Goya, right? That means get off your ass.
That's right.
Is that right?
That's exactly right.
That's right. Okay, you have to get off your ass. Like I don't know, I deal with people that won't get off their ass, and it fucking makes me crazy. I can't stand it. Sorry for my language. People that cuss are very honest. So just you have to get off your ass. Like I've had a lot of guys that are like, "Can you coach me? Can you coach me?" I am very upfront, and I'm like, if you are looking for a shoulder to cry on, you ain't gonna get it here.
Mm.
I want you to say what you're gonna do and fucking do it and
Yeah.
fucking execute. Like I'm gonna give you a step-by-step process of how you're gonna get to where you want to get. And if you don't execute it, I execute you, because I'm not gonna coach you anymore. I'm not gonna waste my fucking time. I don't get pleasure out of taking people's money over a sob story. You know what I mean? Like I'm not
Corey doesn't put up with
man.
complainers. You
Right.
just get it done.
Just get it done. Just do it. I don't care how
Yeah.
you do it. Just
Yep.
do it.
And there's no reason why you shouldn't, right? Like it's
Right.
all there for you. You know what you gotta do. The problem is you don't do it. And
Right.
that's a big thing. You know what I mean? Is like the execution part. And you gotta be upfront with that, because it's very frustrating for, the person telling you, you know what I mean, telling them what to do, and then they don't come back and do it.
Oh yeah. Holy shit. Sorry.
Yeah.
I come from I don't want to say that I come from nothing, but I had a good family. I come from fucking nothing. Nothing was handed to me. Like I could have very easily been, and there's some like family history and stuff that I'm not publicly sharing here, but there is some shit where I could have like very fucking this fucking close to just being a worthless fucking low life.
Mhm.
Like I could have been a fucking nobody. And I worked my fucking ass off to get to where I am right now. I'm super, proud of it, right? Like I worked my ass off. Everything that I have, I earned, like
Mhm.
every single fucking bit of it.
Yeah.
And I want to work with people that have that same attitude. I know there's a couple guys in here that have that same attitude. Like Brandon, he's in here. Cole, I know he's in here. I know these guys personally, and they have that same fucking attitude. They are fucking killers. That's who I want to fucking surround myself with.
That's right. Yeah, you got.
Sorry,
I
I'm
mean,
off topic again, man.
it's all good, man. All good. We're about to wrap it up anyway. So no, that's it though. You know what I mean? You got to be out there. You got to be relentless. You know,
Mhm.
people are getting, you know, I don't want to say lazy, but people are getting comfortable. And you know, you have the most opportunity this year than ever before, just to do some of these things. You know, you talked about, Corey, and execute, and you will see massive, massive success in your business. You just gotta Goya, right? You do. That's what it boils down to.
That is.
Um, you got to get out, make it happen. Get out there, let your brand be known. But Corey, dude, I appreciate you for being on Do Community with Closers, because my friend, you, sir, are a closer.
Thank you,
What I'm
Pat. I
talking
appreciate you
about.
having me, man. Sorry, I hope I didn't offend anybody with all the cussing, but
No, I have to go back now, and I got to take this down. I
edit
got to
it,
bleep it all out. No.
pop it up.
Yep. No,
Oh
it's
man.
all good, man. It's all good. So we appreciate you, dude. Keep crushing it. Thank you for everything you do, man, bringing it and helping so many people. We love your heart, man, and how you serve. So thanks again for being on. And
Thank you so much, Pat.
yes, sir. And thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank
Yeah,
you.
man.
Thank all of y'all.
We had a huge crowd tonight, so appreciate everybody. Have an amazing evening. Today's Wednesday. You still got 2 more days to Goya, baby.
That's right, baby. That's right.
All right. We'll talk to you guys next Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. As always, right here, Community with Closers.